Good Monday morning. Yes, it's Monday, and I wanted to share a story with you. So, I have a couple of friends that we used to go away for a weekend together to Spruce Lake Retreat Center in Canadensis. And if you've never been to Spruce Lake, it is beautiful and has a ton of hiking paths and is on the side of this mountain that, if you're adventurous enough, you can take the hiking path up to the very top of the mountain and get this incredible view of Pennsylvania. I mean, it is just beautiful. So anyway, these two friends of mine and we would take a weekend and spend it at Spruce Lake just to get away and refresh and renew. And this one weekend that we went, one of us, her name was Mary. She had recently come down with ALS. So it's a degenerative muscle disease, and it's very highly hereditary. Her father had died of it, and there's no coming back from it. So we knew that this weekend was probably going to be our last weekend together. She had started to lose some strength, and she, had some weaknesses going on, but she was still functioning pretty well. So we had this weekend and we were really enjoying ourselves. And all of a sudden, she said after breakfast one morning, "Hey, let's walk up to the top of the mountain." Well, we had never done it before. And my other friend Judy and we were like, She said, "Yeah, come on, we can do this." And we were like, okay, really nervous about it because, let's face it, we are not spring chickens. And so we really didn't know how this was going to go. And especially with Mary, she wasn't walking really well. She had some weaknesses in her legs and in her arms, but she was the one that wanted to really conquer this. So we were going to do it. So Mary said, "Listen, I might go a little slower than you guys, and that's okay. I'll get there. So if I'm behind you, don't worry. I'll catch up. I'll catch up." We said, "Okay, no problem. If we're going to do this, we're going to do this together." So we start out at the bottom of the mountain. We get on the path and we go. Can I tell you that Mary climbed that mountain like a goat? I mean, to say she just went straight up the mountain, she had this huge smile on her face. She was full of strength and power and energy, and she just went. Meanwhile, my other friend Judy was way behind us, dying. She was struggling to breathe. She didn't have the energy to get her gumption up the mountain. She had to keep stopping and breathing and catching her breath and going, and I was stuck in between the two trying to figure out how to keep us all together because I had one who was so far up front and one who was so far in the back, and I'm going, "Come on, guys, we could do this." So it was a little crazy. Well, don't you know, we made it up to the top of the mountain and we took pictures of ourselves, the three of us, in front of this beautiful view, and we praised God for his glory and his majesty and his creation, and it was just incredible. Well, then we had to conquer the way down. Whoa. Coming down was almost harder than going up. First of all, the goat went just as quickly down as she came up. She just was a mountain goat that day. It was unbelievable. Judy, grumbling and groaning and crying the whole way. "I can't believe you made me do this. This is ridiculous. We're old ladies. How are we supposed to conquer this mountain?" It was hysterical. We were laughing and grumbling at the same time. So anyway, coming down was almost harder because we had to control our descent, and we got to one place. By the way, when you go up one way, you come down a different way. You don't go down the same way that you came up. So we didn't know what we were going to encounter. So on the way down, we got to this one part. It was like a cliff, and the only way we could get down it was to sit on our backsides and scoot. And thank goodness there were enough leaves piled up that the scooting didn't hurt too bad, but we had to sit on our backsides and scoot. And so you can only imagine the conversation and the laughter and the grumbling and all of it. And when we got down to the bottom, finally, just in time for lunch. Understand, we started right after breakfast and we got down just in time for lunch. It was quite the journey. When we got down to the bottom, we took a moment to just celebrate this remarkable accomplishment that we had just made. And we realized that based on each of our different places in life, right? Age, the way that age was affecting our bodies, disease, Mary really struggling with muscle control and weakness, and yet had so much strength and power to go. And it reminded me of Psalm 84. And if you get to verse 5, it says, "What joy for those whose strength comes from the Lord, who have set their minds on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem." Well, don't you know, the three of us old ladies went on quite a pilgrimage that day, and we absolutely set our minds on the strength of the Lord. And we were at such peace, knowing that even though Judy was talking at one point about getting a helicopter to come and pick her up out of there, we still knew that God was with us. He was giving us the strength and the energy and the power to get through that adventure, and that by setting our minds on Him, keeping our focus on Him, especially Mary really showed us. She put her mind on Jesus. She kept her focus on Jesus. She gained all of her strength and her joy that day in God, and it absolutely was the depiction of verse 5. What joy for those whose strength comes from the Lord. And that day our strength absolutely did come from the Lord. So I just wanted to tell you this silly story just as a way of strengthening you and encouraging you today. I know it's Monday. Mondays are sometimes tough days for us. We are getting together tomorrow night, Tuesday night, the 19th. We're going to get together at Jane's Ice Cream. Please come out and join us. We've got lots to chat about and plan for the future. And if you know someone who is thinking about, maybe interested in joining us as buddies, would you bring them, invite them, let them come? We're not telling secrets, so please invite them and let them come, and maybe they'll find that it is something that they'd like to join us with. So see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at Jane's, and I just pray and hope that you have a magnificent day, knowing that you have joy because your strength comes from the Lord.